One, call halal Yahweh Bashim Abishai Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth. And the Israelite foreigners that be like unto the speckled bird. And to the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson. And I'm visiting the comment board of my last video. And there's there's a lot of good stuff on here. People and the people that post, good information, I appreciate it. I'm going to go into an article that was put up by the sister Virtuous Woman, who's I've recognized her thumbnail. She's commented on my videos in the past. And then this brother I don't know who this person is, piece of his life, they also comment a lot. But this person is a nurse. So I'm just gonna first let me read a scripture. All right, this is Obadiah 6, and it reads, "How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?" And mainly through the scriptures. All right, because like it says in Psalm 64 and 8, we constantly bring it out, but the majority of the information that exposes Esau comes from other Edomites because they're divided. And then of course you got Wicked Jake, who support their agendas, and sellouts, Uncle Toms, Uncle Tomahawks, Aunt Jemimas. You're always gonna have those types. Theo Thomas. But this is what the brother Peace of a Life, because basically the main subject of the video is how the mask, the covering of your airways, you're breathing your own CO2, and it makes it's eventually going to break you down, and it's making you sick. And this is what a nurse said. It says, I have to wear one on the nursing unit, and I nearly passed out a few weeks ago because it was hot and humid, and wearing the mask 100 times, and wearing the mask is 100 times that. I'm looking for another job, not easy in these times, yeah, no kidding. And trying to work on my own little business because I'm done. Working in healthcare will get workers marked soon as well. So he's aware of the chip, and the healthcare workers are going to have to take it. So I told a share friend of mine many years ago, one of the brothers that was they used to do MMA with me. We actually. Anyway, I don't want to give it away because it'll be easy to look him up and figure out who he is and who I am. But nevertheless, he's not super well known, but he is well known. And I told him, many years back, that eventually he was going to have to take that chip to keep his job. We'll see what he does, because he actually reached out to me a couple weeks back, just checking on me because we hadn't talked in a while, and and he had to admit, he was like, bro, a lot of that stuff you said, man, has come to pass. It's true. Because I told him he was an Iskarite, and woo wop the bam. I told him what was going on, and that we're the chosen people, and he actually received it, but like a lot of people, he thought that, this was something that would happen much later in his life, or he wouldn't be here to see that. Okay, people keep thinking that way. But nevertheless, he's back to his statement. It says, it's funny how they dismiss natural alternative remedies and like as pseudoscience. And it's true. Things that have worked for thousands of years, that for hundreds of years people have been using different herbs and teas and different things to heal, and all of a sudden that stuff is just no good, But it says, back to it, it says, when they've been around since the beginning of time. Yeah, he's right. He said that the real science, all this nonsense these days, is what has destroyed the world, and they think they're clever for it too, boasting about their PhDs and master degrees. That lie IQ, that sense of because why? They have a degree of knowledge. You know, you have a degree of knowledge. No, the powerful understanding of the Bible, you have 360 degrees of knowledge, the whole understanding. Did not one of the American presidents says that the greatest education that any person can get was a thorough knowledge of the Bible? That's greater than any degree that you can get. Have an understanding of the Bible. They didn't use the books that you get your degrees to gain American control over the people in the world. They used the Bible to do that. And then it says, I've one Facebook friend who thinks she's the business because she's doing a master's in exercise physiology. Read more. Let's see if I can click on that. Push to it as if I was on my phone. It says, tries to portray that she's super smart and she thinks she can preach to everyone about COVID and politics now. LOL. Yeah, well, but let's go down to the sister right here, the Virtuous Woman channel. And then and we had a dialogue back and forth because it says Barack Obama gave Wuhan, China $3.5 million dollars in 2015 through Dr. Fauci. And I was like, whoa, the water for that golden nugget of info, sis. If possible, post a source. So she posted all these articles. All right. And this made me think of I've been watching a series, which I would highly suggest to you, on the lockdown and it's, it's you can watch it for its entertainment value, but you can also watch it and relate it to the scriptures and get plenty of ideas of, for you teachers out there, you brothers who do the work. But the Queen of the South, the series is really good. Now, of course, you got to, the Queen, we know what Queen means, the learned men of the Lord and the sisters that listen, that is not a title you want to label yourself. And she definitely does live up to that title eventually. But the interaction between the northern and southern kingdom and Esau is really intense in that show. And at the end of the show, without giving it away, the northern and the southern kingdom come together to defeat Esau because Esau's got the police and the judges, and one of the main characters is a judge. You don't really see him until the last season, I believe. But it just made me think of how he was extorting them for money so he could build a prison so he could lock more of them up, and he was boasting about it. He was boasting about how he's going to build this prison and then he's going to put them all in it. They're going to be, so basically they're funding their own prison, man. And that made me think of Isaiah 42 and 22, because it's the same thing with this COVID. You follow the money, the medicines, the facilities that they're gonna build, all the instruments that are needed to support this. This is a money making scheme for them. Like all those memes with Bill Gates. That one that says that when you try to kill everyone on the planet, but you cause a worldwide awakening. And there was another one. And they showing him young when he's saying, let's create a computer virus and then sell the software. And now, it's, hey, let's create a virus and then sell the cure to the people. It's the same thing, man. This is all about money. Follow the money. Then Columbo used to tell you that on the detective show. Follow the money. But this is Isaiah 42 and 22, and it reads, "But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. They are hid in prison houses. They are for prey, and none delivereth. For a spoil, and none saith restore." And you being delivered to spoil with this COVID thing. All right, it's the same thing, because they're, like you said, they're gonna get money for these facilities, build facilities, add on, all that sort of stuff. So but let's get into this article, because she put in two. I'm gonna click on the first one because that's the one I started reading, and was just and then she also wrote how it says right here, her third comment says, "Malcolm, there are also some Snope disclaimers out there to debunk this story. Do some more study on it." And that's natural, because and I wrote, of course, counter-truth propaganda police on the job, continually telling the people that up is really down, because that's what they do. Esau's trying to convince you that down is up and that up is down. And it is because he said so. Simple as that. Just like, you know, wearing a mask does constrict your breathing, which puts your respiratory system under stress, which raises your cortisone levels, which destroys your immune system. It breaks it down, and it also makes you more privy to catching other diseases and illnesses. And that's just fact that they're ignoring. That they're saying that basically they're saying that up is down when it comes to that, and then they get doctors and scientists to, you know, to use pseudoscience, create all these big fancy terms, and lie their way around it as they're destroying the people, and the people will have it so because they don't do any research. But let's click on this this article. And we're just going to start reading through a little bit of it. And it says, I don't know if I can make that a little bigger, if you can see it, because I'm going to try to read it through the camera. All right. So U.S. government gave 3.7 million grant to Wuhan lab at center of coronavirus leak scrutiny by Citizens for Legitimate Government. All right. It says, previous edition, Minnesota Department of Health tells doctors how to fill out death certificates to include COVID-19, whether a person died from it or not. Sanders exists presidential race. And that's, you know, that's true. That information has come out lots of times. There's been too many healthcare professionals, both nurses and doctors, who've admitted that. You know, but they always find those videos and delete them or use the algorithm so that they don't pop up when you search for them. It says, revealed U.S. government gave 33.7 million grant to Wuhan Lab Center of Coronavirus Leak Scrutiny. The U.S. National Institutes of Health, a government agency, awarded 3.7 research grant to Wuhan Institute of Virology. The lab is the center of several theories, because they crossed out conspiracy, that suggested its original source of coronavirus outbreak. 12 April 2020, the Chinese laboratory at the center of the scrutiny over the potential coronavirus leak has been using U.S. government money to carry out research on bats from the caves, which scientists believe are the original source of the deadly outbreak. The Wuhan Institute of Virology undertook coronavirus experts on mammals captured more than 1,000 miles away in Yunnan, which were funded by the 3.7 million grant from the U.S. government. Sequencing the COVID-19 genome has traced it back to the bats found in Yunnan caves, but it was first thought to have been transferred to humans at the animal market in Wuhan. See, that was a lie. All right. The revelation of the Wuhan Institute was experimenting on bats from the area already known to be a source of COVID-19. And in doing so, the American money has sparked further fears that the lab, not the market, is the original outbreak source. All right. It says U.S. Hospitals get paid $13K. There you go, to list patients as COVID-19 and $39K to put them on a ventilator. So if you're in the you're in the ventilator business, you're getting paid. If you service them, you're getting paid. If you make the parts for them, you're getting paid. It's all about the money. It's the same thing that's done with the prison industry. That's why I read that scripture. It's the same thing. They build a prison house or correction facility, and then you set up a commissary. So all the vendors that you know with that, and you get so much money per head that's in there. So what do? You go out and you do aggressive, unnecessary policing in certain areas, in certain places. All right, and if it's not enough going on in that neighborhood, you simply plant some stuff in that neighborhood. You know, kick up. You might even put on a mask to make you look like you're a so-called black man, you know, or Hispanic man, and go shoot up some rival gangs, plant guns in the neighborhoods, and sit back, watch the war, and then you collect them all up on the RICO Act. Hey, you Jakes need to wake up, man. All right, You need to wake up. It's more to life than driving a fancy car, having a big screen, and some Jordans and a chain, man. A big booty bitch and a blunt. Because that's all the most of you jakes want, man. Alright? And best believe that big booty broad done been on that carousel long before she got to you, man. She ain't nothing special. Alright? Let's jump down. It says Roger Stone, Bill Gates globalists may have created coronavirus as a pathway to mandatory vaccines, microchipping the people. And that's exactly what's going to happen. That is the end goal. That's the end game. To get to that microchip. All right. Let's finish reading that one. It says Roger Stone suggests Monday that Bill Gates may have had a hand in the creation of coronavirus so that he could plant microchips in people's heads to know who has not been tested for COVID-19. Whether Bill Gates played some role, some say it's ridiculous and others say absolutely. And it is. This is exactly what they want. This is that plan. All right. They revealed it in so many movies and cartoons, in books. How is it that all these books and cartoons, and movies from the 80s and 90s, 20, 30 years ago are directly on point to exactly what's happening now? That's how that dark magic works. That's how that Talmudic magic works. You have to inform of the crime before you do it. That's what makes you innocent of it, according to their belief and way of thinking. All right? Because the scriptures clearly tell you in Revelation, I believe it's 16, let's get it, that if anyone who takes that mark, because that's eventually what it's going to go to, because I watched the video yesterday when they had some Judite women, Eve, going to take that mark. Because it makes their lives easier, because they can go back and forth to their jobs. But you take that mark, then that's going to be death for you. Either the Lord's going to kill you one way or another, because people, just like people are breaking out with rashes and having illnesses, panic attacks, and all kind of things wearing these masks. All right, and then they go to the hospital and say they got COVID. All right, you're going to have a reaction when they start from the vaccinations. That's going to kill a lot of people, and then they're going to put the chip in you to make sure you've been vaccinated. All right. But this is Revelation 16:2, and it says, first went out and poured out the first went out and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. So you people that take that mark, man, that's death unto you. The Lord is going to smite you. Hey, they showed you that in that movie with Will Smith. And matter of fact, Alice Braga is in that. She's the main character in Queen of the Queen of the South. All right, she's the main character, and she's also in the movie with Will Smith, the one in New York. When the plague broke out, Dr. Aaron Neville's I Am Legend. Someone put up a meme how, Dr. Neville's has survived, just him and his dog. He was even though he was alone, he was living good, food, water, comfort. And then she showed up and he was dead the next day. But nevertheless, what happened in that movie? An Edomite woman, a scientist, came up with a cure for cancer. And everybody took it, had no cancer anymore. And they gave out 10,000 of them. But what happened, all those people developed and turned into freaks of nature and got sick, got damn superhuman strength, and they started mauling, attacking, and killing everyone else. And everyone that they bit or scratched turned just like them. And these were scary zombies because they weren't slow like in the other zombies. When these things, they increased their speed, and they ran at you, and then they were intelligent because they were thinking. They weren't just some, the typical zombie is the one that walks slow, and just a mindless sheep pack type person. They follow the pack. And they just overwhelm you with great numbers. These things were fast and quick in thinking, would set you up, set traps to catch you. All right, so it was different. But hey, look, it's the same thing that happened, the same story. You take that that vaccination, which is the vaccination can kill you, and if you take the chip, you're good as dead. All right. So but this article just goes on and on. You can look it up. It's a lot of information here. I may come back to this thing and use it some more. But it's called here. Let's bring it down. There it is. Gilmore Mirror Online. All right. But there it is. U.S. government gave 3.7 million grant to Wuhan. All right. And it's the Gilmore Mirror. Let's read one more scripture, man, before we close this out. Because I am feeling a little bit better, but it's still uncomfortable sitting here. This ice is starting to wear off. This is Jeremiah 49 and 10. And it reads, "But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not." And I can't wait till the second part of that, because he's been made bare. He's not spoiled yet, but it's coming. All right. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Awashai Bashem Rakak Wadash Wa Abba Shalom.